Hello, welcome to Talking Good Game. It's match preview of Brighton and Hove Albion against West Ham United. Kickoff is on Saturday at 8 p.m. Gonzo, can I get your thoughts on our opposition as always, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're a good team, Geo. I know the points tally might not reflect that, but I like every time I've seen them play. I like the way they play football. Actually, I think they attack really well. They attack with intent. I think. I mean, they had a wonderful right back who we'll get onto later on. I think even despite him not playing, I think he was integral to what they were trying to do. They carried on playing well, and I think it's having watched Brighton throughout the years, or not watched them, but having been aware of them as a football club throughout the years, and them not having a stadium for such a long time, for them to be in the Premier League for a sustained period is absolutely magnificent. They've got an ethos now. It's a great club. It's a great away game, actually, as well. What they've done there, the infrastructure, everything about the place, it smacks of a club that wants to stay in the Premier League. I'm really impressed with them.
Anyway, this preview is in collaboration with 5 Yards, the online transfer market for football fans. So if you think you know the next Tariq Lamberty, get involved. Head over there. The link is in the description below. You can scout. You can write your scout report. On the players that you think are upcoming and someone to keep an eye out for. As for Brighton, they remind me a bit of West Ham under Zola. They play good football, but it's a bit like you're not really going anywhere with it. I find them quite boring to watch, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think I'm surprised you like them, because I find them a bit more like City than Liverpool, for example, with the way they play their football. They do knock it about and stuff, and I like it. I do like football like that. I think they play pretty football, but when you're sitting just outside the relegation zone, you've scored about 4 more goals than West Brom, for example. I just don't think it's effective enough. I think they're a bit goal shy, and he's got some youngsters in there. He's got some good players in there, but it just seems a little bit like it's almost a bit pointless for me. It's like going out and getting a £500 coat and then wearing cheap jumper and trousers to go with it. It's like, well, that was a bit silly, wasn't it? Would you not been better off spreading your money equally?
Or buy a £1,000 coat, no other clothing, and not even any pants.
Yeah, well, that's like Brighton. They are the £1,000 coat. It looks good, but yeah, there's no pants. It's cold. It's not very effective.
It's not impressive.
But I just think, I don't know. He said Potter gets a lot of plaudits, and I understand why. I do understand it when I watch, but sometimes when I watch, I think I don't think he's doing enough to get his plaudits, because it's quite funny. Because at the minute they're just like sort of what do you call it? Hype. It's almost popular to criticize Bielsa at the minute, because the pundits have praised Bielsa far too much. The fans have taken it upon themselves to criticize Leeds and Bielsa a bit too much. And I think Brighton's a bit like that for me. I think he gets far too much praise. It's almost made me a bit reluctant to like Graham Potter, because I think whenever I watch them, I'm like, they're all right, but they're not like this amazing thing that I think he's getting built up to be, kind of thing. Do you think Potter will eventually go on to bigger? I say eventually. This summer, perhaps he's been sporadically linked to the Spurs job.
I'd say I'm the opposite, you see, because I think Sam Allardyce has taken so much stick from the fans and the press that I've actually grown to love him.
Of course I have. Yeah.
No, I don't think Potter will go on to bigger and better things yet. He's got to do something with Brighton yet. The Spurs job link, which I heard, no. He's got to do something first. He really does. And actually, as I understand it, Eddie Howe is going up to take the Celtic job. It just hasn't been rubber stamped or confirmed yet. Well, that I can understand, but there's not a dissimilar thing going on. I guess the only difference is that Eddie Howe did take them down, but he did that. He took the club on, another club on the South Coast, got them playing nice football, survived some seasons in the Premier League, but it doesn't necessarily qualify you for the top jobs. And even though it was discussed that Eddie Howe might be a candidate for the Arsenal job and the Tottenham job, funny enough, they never actually came calling, because you've got to do something. And I'd even though he took them down, I will use Roberto Martinez as an example by winning the cup with Wigan. Okay, he's done something. So Belgium come calling, and he gets a good job.
Did Pochettino do enough at Southampton in order? Obviously, he went to Tottenham from Saints and done successful. So do you not think they're sort of trying to follow a familiar route if they go for Potter? Do you not think they're trying to get the next upcoming?
Do you know what? That's a really good shout. But I think Pochettino had taken Southampton far higher than Potter's taken Brighton. I also think he was blooding 30, 40, 50 million pound players, Pochettino, and taking these players, and exactly what Daniel Levy wanted to do. I'm not saying that they haven't got some youngsters, but they're not. I think Pochettino's creating superstars at Southampton. I'm not sure Potter's doing that.
As much as I criticise Potter, I think he would suit Tottenham. I think the style of play he plays at Brighton would be far more effective with better players. I know as a Brighton fan, you're probably being a bit offended, but you're just outside of relegation years and you're not scoring much goals kind of thing. And I think the way he wants to play, I admire that, but I just think sometimes you've got to work with what you've got. And I'm not sure that the way they play is the best use of the player he's working with. It's been far too close to relegation for my liking for a Brighton team. And they've got some decent, it's not even like he's not working with the Sheffield United side here that are made up of championship players. He's working there with some players that have cost 20 million, some players that are worth 50 million on paper. Possible one guy might be worth 50 million, but there's 2 or 3 of them that not far behind in the transfer market thing. You were to put a valuation on all the Brighton players, there's some big prices, big chunky prices in there he's got to work with. Has this been, how do you think their season's gone then? I think expected, or has he done well?
I think he's done okay. I mean, bear in mind, I don't think they spent massive money, did they? Did they try and buy Ben White from Leeds for 25 million? Was it them? Was it Brighton trying to buy him? I've got that wrong.
Oh, Gonzo. Ben White plays for Brighton.
Leeds were trying to buy him from Brighton. Yeah. There you go. Same thing, same difference. So sorry, of course, but he's not been playing. He's injured. He's not been playing recently, has he, or something like that? I'm not sure anyway. I think they've done all right. I think they're a striker away from. Obviously, they've got a striker and Welbeck, and they've been getting a good tune out of him. And Mopai obviously won't feature against us. Done okay, but I do feel that their football is quite good. And I know you've just alluded to it there. And I actually think if they had a striker that wasn't, one of those two, I don't know, Gio, if they had Antonio up front or something like that, or whoever, they'd be doing a lot better. They'd probably have been safe 7 or 8 games ago. They're doing okay, mate. As I say, it's a tiny, tiny club. It really is. I'm amazed that they've stayed in the Premier League as long as they have done already. It is, if you actually follow the lineage of their story, it's an absolute miracle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think they've done all right as well. I actually thought they'd get relegated, to be honest with you, because I just looked at the team and I just thought, there's too many okay players, really. As much as I said they've got some really good ones, there's also 1 or 2. And some of the youngsters like Connolly, McAllister, haven't quite lived up to what my expectation was this season. So I thought they'd struggle a bit more, to be honest with you. I thought they'd potentially go down. So I think he's done well enough to keep them in. But I think they need a few good signings in the summer in key positions and stuff. And obviously the injury of Lampate's been massive because that's a big part of the way they play it early on in the season. So they've done okay, but I'm just a bit reluctant to join the Brighton play fantastic football train kind of thing. They play okay football, but they don't yield results. What's the point of it to some extent? But anyway, players you admire?
Well, I think they should. I should try and buy that Ben White from Leeds first of all, because he would be a good addition there. I think that Dan Burn is the size of the Shard, isn't he? But he played really well against us, didn't he? Do you remember? He's all right. He looks like a fish out of water on that wing, to be honest with you. Look, I'm gonna have to pick the guy. I think Dunk's good. He's out as well, as you know. I'm gonna have to pick your guy just for a lack of general knowledge about Brighton, which is Satsuma, who is. Since you pointed him out, I'm not going to claim credit. You pointed him out, and I looked at him. I thought, yeah, he's good. He is good. He's probably their best player. And the right back we can't really discuss because he's injured, but he had been fantastic.
I think Solly March has had a solid season for them. He's injured now, but he started off with a really solid season. I think Neil Mopai sort of faltered to deceive a little bit. I thought he'd had a decent enough debut season for Brighton. I expected a bit more from him this season, but he's just. I said it to you. I think it was. Video we did last week. I said Neil Mopai's becoming a bit like Zaha for me. It just irritates me. Players like that is constantly just whinging, and he got himself sent off after the full-time whistle in the last game, which is it's just a stupid thing to do, really. And it's a shame because he's got really good ability. I've always liked Davy Proper. I know he's been out injured for a while. He's rolled his ankle and he's going to miss this one. But whenever I've seen him, I've quite liked him, actually. I thought him and Basuma would be a really good partnership in there. And I don't have a good enough knowledge to say exactly what's happened, whether he's just been injured or he's just not been fancied by Potter, or a little bit of both, really. But Basuma, I think, is utter class. I think he'll go on to play for a Champions League club. If he doesn't move this summer, I think he'll move next summer. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if the reason Liverpool has seemed relatively calm about Wijnaldum going to Barcelona potentially is that they'd be eyeing up someone like Basuma. I think while he's defensive midfielder on paper and his stats suggest he's a top-class defensive midfielder, I do think he's good at getting forward as well. I think he's got that box-to-box thing in him as well. I think he's really, really good, ticks all the boxes, and one of the best in the league in centre midfield, Basuma. Anyway, enough about Brighton. Time to talk about West Ham. Gonzo, Declan Rice is back. Rice is back for Saturday. Good news. We're starting with good news.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that will, I feel that will liberate Thomas Souček to get back to boxing rather than he's done a sterling job, sat there in front of the back four, heading the balls away and stuff like that. But one of the best things about Souček is how impressive he is in terms of the yardage he runs during a game. He's always up there. He's one of the top guys. He doesn't get to do that when he's playing defensive midfield. And actually, he starts to come to the fore the longer the game goes on as well, because he basically wears his opponents down. So we're missing that. We're missing the goals. He's due a goal. So I like Rice coming back because I do feel it's a good partnership, and particularly with your man in there as well for Brighton, he's going to it'll be good to close that little avenue down there and dominate that midfield will be important.
The rest of the news is a little bit light because Moyes hasn't done his press conference yet, but Alan Caswell should be okay considering he went off injured with a dead leg, so you'd imagine he's okay for Saturday. Less unsure about Manuel Lanzini, but for the sake of the preview, we're going to assume he is available. We're going to assume Lanzini is available, and also no word on Mark Noble yet. He could also be set to return. A couple of weeks ago, he was out injured, and the length of injury was given as 2 weeks. So I would assume that he's back for Saturday. So for the sake of the preview, the only player we're really missing is Arthur Masuaku, Gonzo. That's the only real absentee. So Fabianski in goal. Would you continue with the back four or back three for this one? Bear in mind, Brighton play with the back three. We've struggled with Newcastle and Everton, but we did whoop Wolves.
Yeah, no, I'll go with the back four for this one still. Yeah, I just think it's Masuaku's a big key to that back three, and doesn't always play well at wing back, Cresswell, and I like him from that centre back position. So yeah.
So how are you lining up in centre back then? Because obviously Soufal and Cresswell full back. So how's your middle two looking?
Oh, my middle two is looking pretty good. I'm thank you very much. I'm going to have Ogbonna and I'm going to have Diop.
I'm going to go Ogbonna and Balbuena. You're dropping Craig Dawson.
I did, yes. So did you.
No, I think he's been in poor form for a while now, Craig Dawson. He had an excellent game against Burnley, but Burnley play to Craig Dawson's strength. Brighton do not play to Craig Dawson's strength. There's a team in this league that will rip out. That will look to expose Craig Dawson's lack of pace. Brighton is one of those teams that you will consider that to do that. And I think I'm aware I'm putting in Balbuena, who isn't much quicker, but I don't think Balbuena's done anything wrong. Perhaps I'm being a bit harsh on Diop, but I'm just being. Every game he seems to be getting 6 or 7 out of 10 for me, and it's not really enough to sort of stay in there. Whereas I think some games we've seen Balbuena come in, do an 8 out of 10 and get dropped because someone's back from suspension or something. So I'd go with Ogbonna and Balbuena for this one. So Rice and Souček in the middle?
Without a doubt, yeah. I'm definitely having them two back, yeah, for sure.
And how would you like the rest of the side to line up?
Well, I'm a little bit undecided. So I'm not sure whether to just swap Rice in for Lanzini. Not that Lanzini done anything wrong. I mean, nothing wrong at all. I think it'd be a really good option to come off the bench. That being said, I'm not sure whether to actually put Lanzini in, stick Fornals a little bit more on the left and drop Benrahma. But I think I will go with my initial instinct, which is to drop Lanzini to keep Fornals where he is and to keep Benrahma, give Benrahma almost one more chance, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's the same lineup as myself, really. Lingard, Benrahma, Fornals and Mikel Antonio up front. I think it could be important to have Fornals playing sort of in the middle for this one, because of Basuma, really, and they do have the three at the back, so the space will potentially be out wide for West Ham, so we can get Lingard on one side and Benrahma on the other. I'm aware Lingard tends to operate better in the centre of the pitch, but I just think that's where it'll potentially be congested. I think it was congested there against Everton and Lingard struggled. I thought it was congested there against Newcastle and Lingard struggled. So let's get Jesse out of that area. Let's give him a little bit of room, and I think on the side is where he's going to be able to do that. And putting him up against, like you said, Dan Burn, who he looks like the most unnatural footballer I've ever seen in my life. Whenever he runs with the ball, it doesn't look normal, does it? I'm aware it's because of his height, but when you watch him run, you just think, this guy ran with the ball before, and it's like, it just looks really awkward.
Yeah, he only needs 3 strides to cover the whole pitch.
But I like to see Jesse Lingard up on that side as well. And we've got to test this Brighton team. You know, they're missing a few key players, so we're new enough at full strength as well. There's no excuses as far as I'm concerned. But Gonzo, a bit of pressure on us, though, because if we win our next 2, Brighton and West Brom, if we win them both, we take the Champions League qualification to the final day, regardless of other results. It will go to the final day. We will, match day 38, need to win and rely on other teams doing us a favour, but it will go to the Southampton game if we win our next 2. So a lot of pressure.
Yeah, look, there is a lot of pressure on them, but they've got to show a bit of mettle now, because there's been pressure on a few of the results recently, and they've not really come through. I didn't like the nobody liked the Everton game, really. I thought we just struggled to break them down for obvious reasons. So I just hope, I'm sure they are all going to be motivated. I'm sure Moyes will have them all motivated. I'm sure the coaching staff will. I'm sure the players themselves will be. But there is pressure, but it's nice pressure. All right, this is not more pressure than they had last season, when not only were we flirting with relegation last season, we were flirting with relegation all through lockdown. These players had a lot of time to think about it. We were all saying at the time, we don't know what's going to happen because of lockdown, because of COVID, what's going to do with football. We were saying this is the worst time that any club can get relegated. All right, maybe Norwich has proved that wasn't the case, but you know what I mean? If you get relegated, you stay down because of the TV deal and because of everything else and because of the debt, you just didn't want to. And our team and the management had to carry that pressure all throughout lockdown. Now, as it transpired, we came out of lockdown, we hit the ground running, we were brilliant. We were one of the best teams at the end of last season. But that was pressure, that was real pressure. So the team and the squad can operate under pressure. This is a better pressure, so let's just see them deal with it. And they have to deal with it. And really, they've got to show Brighton a clean pair of heels, because they've got nothing to play for anymore. They've got players out. We have to want this more, and we have to play better than Brighton.
Yeah, I completely agree. We need to see a better attitude than the Sunday. I know it's a bit harsh. I don't like saying the attitude wasn't right, but I didn't feel like it was. I felt like there was something missing from us on Sunday, and it's probably one of the few times I've said that this season. You can certainly count on one hand how many times we felt the attitude wasn't quite there, or there's something missing, and I felt that there was something missing on Sunday. We need to do something different. And that's why when we're doing our fake teams, we're doing our what we'd like to see kind of thing, you do look at them, we're going to have to do something different as well. And we're sort of chopping out the defenders. We've only conceded 1 goal, but we're keeping the attack the same, really. But like you said, having Declan Rice in there actually changes your attack, despite the fact that he's a centre midfielder. It frees up Thomas Souček. And I think, we need to see a big performance from Said Benrahma as well. We do, because I do. Do you think Moyes will start him, or do you think he'll hook him and put Jared Bowen in?
Oh, that's a good one. I hadn't even thought of that. He may do. What do I think he'll do? No, I think he'll play Benrahma. So you think he'll leave Bowen on the bench again? I do.
I'm worried you'll hook him. I always say this, though, but then he usually does it, to be fair. But I do worry that he'll start with Jared Bowen ahead of Said Benrahma, because Moyes will be unhappy with the performance against Everton, and therefore feel he's got to make at least one change.
Yeah,
and not
he's not going to drop Antonio or Lingard, is he?
No. So and he's probably not going to drop for now. Is at least Benrahma, really. Mark Noble did his podcast with Peter Crouch the other day. Peter Crouch asked him, has Moyes got a favourite player? And Mark Noble started laughing. Was it Jesse Lingard? Absolutely Jesse Lingard at the minute. So there's no way he's getting dropped. But if Benrahma does start, we've got to see a big performance from him. This Brighton team is there to be got at. Even Veltman, who's sort of Brighton's either right centre-back or right wing-back, Veltman's out injured as well. So they're not even going to have their first choice. They're not even going to have their second choice right wing-back on Saturday when they play us. Brighton team have got a lot of injuries and obviously 2 big suspensions in Lewis Dunk and Neil Mopai. There couldn't be a better time to play Brighton. They're safe in the Premier League. They've got players missing. They've got nothing to play for. They've had, you really talk about pressure. They've had pressure at times. I've seen they've gone into games where they've been quite close to the relegation zone. They've got the results they needed. They lost to Sheffield United like 3 weeks ago or something like that. I mean, they'd probably be, how many games has Sheffield United won this season? About 4? Yeah. So, it's a perfect opportunity to play them. 3 cup finals again, Gonzo, but it's just... Are you worried that, obviously last night Arsenal did us a bit of a favour, beating Chelsea, but they're now only 3 points behind us, albeit we have a game in hand?
No, I'm not worried about anyone behind us, actually. I'm really not. If we let this slip now, it's our own fault. Can we catch Chelsea? No, I mean, I looked at it today. I understand. The trouble is Chelsea play Villa. Could Leicester beat Chelsea? Yes, they could. Chelsea got their eye on the Champions League final, of course.
But we might not have to catch Chelsea. It might be Leicester, because Leicester have got Chelsea, then Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, but it's still, well, I still don't think. I think it's highly unlikely. But if we get caught, it's our fault, to be in this position. And the irony is we don't have the excuses now because we have enough of good players back, and we have had now for. This will be the 3rd game. Antonio and Cresswell were key, and this will be the 3rd game now. So there's no excuse there anymore. Anyone can handle 1 or 2. I say anyone can handle 1 or 2 absentees. Fine. I thought it was a bit much when it was Cresswell, it was Rice, it was Antonio or Bonner. Fair enough. The excuses are there. No complaints. There can be no excuses now. If we can't with almost our best 11, because some people wouldn't have Masuaku in their best 11, right? So let's just say, arguably our best 11. There you go. Right, so let's just say arguably our best 11. If we can't beat an already safe Brighton, who are decimated, and already relegated West Brom and Southampton, who have got nothing to play for, with our best team.
And Southampton, since they went top of the league before Christmas, Southampton have got the worst form in the league. They've got, like, there's relegation form, then there's like relegation form. Southampton are in relegation form. They gave up a long time ago, basically. I completely agree. We've got to get 9 points, and that will be enough to get us Europa League, not the Europa Conference League. That will get us 5th or 6th in the league. Depends on how Liverpool get on tonight against Manchester United to determine how much is in our hands, kind of thing. But we get 9 points. We finish in Europa League. We've lost 3 of our last 4. We'd fail to win. That's 1 win in 5 for us, and that's not good for going into the final 2 games. Probably our worst patch of the season, really. We need 3 points and nothing less on Saturday night. Now, with all that in mind, are you confident we're going to get all 3 points?
Very much so. Very much so. I think we'll thrash them, actually.
Why is that? Just because of the Brighton team, the West Ham team,
all
the situation?
Of that. Mate, it's massive. It's a massive game. We're highly motivated. We've got to be highly motivated. If we turn up, look like we're not interested, then there's something seriously wrong. I don't think there is anything seriously wrong. I think it's a good season. I think we're a good team. We've got good players, and we've got a good management coaching set up as well. I just can't see anything other than a West Ham win, really, on this one. And I think we'll score early and we'll carry on. I don't think Moyes. I feel like Moyes has learnt his lesson. I don't think we're going to score 1 and sit back and concede. And I don't feel like we'll score 3 and then concede 2 or 3 and make it squeaky bum or anything like that. I think Brighton have got it within them to score 3 against us. But I think we were certainly capable of scoring 3 or more.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm very confident as well. Like I said, for the reasons given, Brighton are down. Got a lot of key players missing in key positions as well. Their main strikers out. Their main centre back and captain is out. Their main fullbacks are out. They've just got problems. They were West Ham a few games ago when we were looking at our team thinking we've got no players. That's Brighton, and they've got nothing to play for added into that. I wouldn't be surprised if Potter thought about massively rotating his squad and giving some of the kids a game, putting in 1 or 2 youngsters. I think he should. I think he should do that, not to help West Ham, but to give the youngsters an opportunity, give some of the players that have played 36 games a season time off, particularly the ones with Euros ahead of them as well, give them a little bit of a rest so they can go play for their countries. And I am confident going into this one. Like you said, we've got most of our players available. There's no excuses now. The bench is going to look good. Against Everton, we kept crossing the ball and it just wasn't working. I think we'll see a similar situation again today. On Saturday, I think we'll have the space out wide, and that's where we've just got to be a bit better. The cross has got to be a bit better. Antonio's got to stay central for this game, and they're missing some big players at the back. I'm going to say big players don't just mean profile, I mean big players and height-wise as well. So we've got to take advantage of this. And I do think while Everton were able to hold us out, I'm not sure Brighton sat back for 90 minutes. I'm not sure Brighton would be able to keep us out, kind of thing. The way they play football might suit us. They try and play it out from the back, they knock it around their defence, kind of thing. That might suit us a little bit because I think our press at times this season has been quite good. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, can I get your score prediction? Any final words on your score prediction, please?
Yeah, just start quickly. Get an early goal sounds simple, of course, doesn't it? I think it make you absolutely right about the route to success on this one. But I do feel Declan Rice being back will mean that when those crosses are going in, Souček will be in there an awful lot more to head. I mean, there's no way. That was a complete performance by Mina and particularly Keane. Those two were really good. There's no way that they're going to play as well as that. It just can't happen. So yeah, I think it'll be a comfortable 3-0 win, maybe.
Ooh, tasty. I'm not too dissimilar to you, to be honest with you. I think we know what's going in our bet on Saturday for the bet giveaway in the build-up show. A little Souček goal will be getting added to that if Vice starts. I expect it as well, to be fair. I think Moyes will be looking, as much as people poo-poo statistics sometimes, Moyes doesn't. Every manager doesn't. They look at their stats or their analytics from the game, see where's gone wrong. Moyes will see that he's played a side with, on paper, 3-5-2 formation. We've had loads of crosses, just no one on the end of it, and we're away to play a team with a 3-5-2 formation. And while they play different ways in possession, out of possession, they're going to play a similar way, which is get back and defend and try and clear the ball kind of thing. So we're going to have lots of space out wide. I would expect Moyes to be looking at Sunday thinking we need to get Souček in a box more than we did against Everton in order to get goals. And his goals have dried up. Lingard took over. Lingard's goals have dried up of late, and we're struggling to score now. So it's a case of we need to get one of them back scoring. Ideally, both. I think we will on Saturday. Sorry, I think we will. I'm going to say Brighton 0, West Ham 2, but I'm going to say it's a very comfortable 2-0 as well. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2-0 at half time in the second half. We might well just switch off, kind of thing. Brighton don't want to be there. We don't want to take kind of risks. Happy days. Anyway, Gonzo. It's a late one on Saturday. 8 o'clock kickoff.
Late night.
Yeah, late night. So we'll be live at 6:55 on Saturday evening. If you wish to join us for the build-up show, then we'll have the watch-along followed by the review. Everything that you need for your match day while fans are not allowed to attend. Gonzo, I'll see you then.
Look forward to it.
If you enjoyed this preview, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in a bit.